The serpent poisoned the earth with his poison. Shalom. First and foremost, giving all praises, honor, glory, respect, and blessings to Yahweh, Bashem, Yahweh Shai, Bashem Rachakwadash. Salutations to the Lord's elect on the four corners of the earth, pushing this truth and sincerity while patiently waiting for Yahweh Shai's return. And double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone, which have taught us everything we know through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bashem, Yahweh Shai. If you've been in this truth for some time, then as you may know, the serpent is talking about the so-called white man, who is also known as the devil, the wicked, as well as Esau, Edom, or the Edomites in the Holy Scripture. They can also be known as Leviathan and Satan, but they're mainly known as the wicked, or Esau, or Edom, or Edomites. You know, now going back to the Garden of Eden, you know, the serpent managed to poison Eve, which we know that serpent to be an actual man with brown skin and woolly hair, because back then, during the time of Adam and Eve, everybody on the planet had brown skin and woolly hair, including the so-called white man. He used to be brown skin with woolly hair until the Lord cursed his forefather Cain, you know, and then later on down the line, you know, because the curse that the Lord put upon Cain was leprosy. That was the mark. And later on down the line, Cain came back in the reincarnation as Esau. But the serpent, which was the so-called white man back then, you know, he had brown skin and woolly hair. He poisoned Eve by feeding her with words of deception, using words to get her to transgress against the Most High, by causing her to go to Adam to also transgress against the Most High. Because what did the Lord say to Adam and Eve? He said, of every tree of the garden ye may learn. Because we know eat is a metaphor for learning. Okay? As a matter of fact, eat is mentioned several times in the scriptures. And you got to have discernment to know when it's actually talking about eating and when eat is metaphorically speaking of learning. So, you know, basically the Lord said, of every other tree of the garden ye may eat, meaning ye may learn. But of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, ye may not eat. Okay? But this serpent, he poisoned Eve by convincing her with his smooth words, making it seem appealing to learn of those forbidden knowledges. And what happened? She went to Adam, and she caused Adam to learn thereof of that forbidden knowledge, which that forbidden knowledge will be the fruit. So throughout history, the serpent, which is the so-called white man, has been known to use deception in order to get somebody to fall for his wiles. Now, the last time I did a video, I looked up the definition for wiles. And the word wiles means a method or a cunning stratagem that is used to get somebody to do what you want them to do. So back then in the Garden of Adam and Eve, The serpent wanted to get Eve to transgress against the Most High and his son. I mean, I don't know what he was thinking or plotting back then. But if you fast forward to the time of the Spaniards and the conquistadors, when they first came over here to the soils of America, they used the same method. They used the same method on Gad as well as the Taino Indians, which Gad would be the so-called North American Indians. Okay, I don't like to say North American Indians. The so-called Native Indians. The Taino Indians will be what the world calls Puerto Ricans. Okay, and the Seminole Indians would be the so-called Indians from the tribe of Reuben. So these conquistadors, which were obviously so-called white people, Edomites, the wicked, so on and so on, the conquistadors, when they came over here, they used poison to get Gad to let their guard down, so they could ultimately overthrow them. And they succeeded with their poison. Okay? Their poison, they also used their poison to plague them with boils and other diseases such as scarlatina, typhoid, typhus, chickenpox, smallpox. Okay? And other infectious viruses. And ultimately, they managed to overcome Gad and the other so-called native tribes and overtake this land. So you see, it's been known all throughout history that the serpent would use deception in order to get people to fall for his wiles. And obviously a wile would be like a trap or something that'll be either difficult or impossible to get out of. Now, the latest deception that the serpent got going on with his poison is this vaccine, these toxic injections, these potions. They're trying to use wiles, cunning stratagems, deception in order to convince the world that these toxic injections, which we know as vaccines, are safe and effective. But there's an alternative motive behind these toxic injections. They do not mean good with these toxic potions. They mean to kill you, take your life. Death by injection, as the saying would go. For those of you that want to take these toxic injections, you need to ask yourself, what is the difference between the lethal